start the recording. Alright, starting up episode 5 of Let's Make a Game. So today I thought we would take a break from making old-fashioned clones and little things that are probably, you know, once we do them once or twice or 3 times, you probably have the hang of it. What we're going to do is we're going to begin working on a game engine or a game library that we'll be using down the road as we keep going making games. And this will allow us to begin making more complex games, more interesting content, and give us the framework necessary that we don't have to be, spending the majority of our time doing this instead of actually focusing on our game. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go back to episode 4, the breakout clone, and we're going to grab a lot of the library components that we have from breakout, and we're going to turn these into our game library, more or less. So come here, we're going to do folder lib. This is our game. This is the stuff for a specific game, but we're going to call this LMG lib. Let's make a game lib. We'll just call it LMAG. There you go. So we're going to name this game library, this game engine, off of the series, and it's going to be posted up and it's going to be maintained. I'm going to set up an SVN for people to use to grab the code from this and contribute to it, and I will link to that in the video. Actually, we're going to set that up right now before we do anything else. That way, as we're going, we can start populating it. So we're going to go to Google Code. I like Google Code for project hosting because this is open source, obviously. I'm giving it away to everybody. And they have a really good platform for this, which is nice. So we're going to do Python project hosting. I don't want to search projects, though. I want to...
I'll see you later.
Alrighty, sounds good, man. We're going to create a new project. So we're going to call this LMAG. Python Pygame Library. Created for and with, I know you can't see this as well, but let me see, can I zoom? There we go. A library created for in collaboration with video with the Let's Make a Game YouTube series and we go to YouTube /HXVM. We grab the Let's Make a Game playlist, and we have that. So the thing that we're going to want to be paying attention to is going to be an SVN, a subversion. We're going to make this a I'm going to make it GPL version 3 Oh wait. LGPO. Ah! Give me a second. Everyone is permitted to copy and distribute verbatim copies of this license document, but changing it is not allowed. That's more than we need. Hey, Sammy! Nope, I'm actually just starting, man. I'm just starting. I'm setting up an SVN, and we are creating a game library today. We're going to start working on a game engine, basically, so we can do more advanced and more interesting games down the road. I'm trying to decide right now which library to use. We're just going to make this fully new text document. License.txt, and we're going to say this game library is placed into the public domain. Please reference it. Library. Coding. Alright, so basically we're making this a public domain. So we're making it other open source because they don't actually have a drop down for public domain. Project labels. Python. We're going to do Pygame. We're going to do library. We're going to do game engine. Game. That's fine. That should be enough labels for right now. Oh. Let's make a game. Mag. There we go. Yeah, I know. I changed that. It's still invalid. Clear out. Oh, okay. Let's make a game. Should be valid. Crap, are you kidding me? Okay, hold on. Create a new project. Let's make a game library. Mag. Python Pygame. Now game engine library. Boom. This is an SVN other. This is Python Pygame library. Game. Create project. There we go, it's working now. Alright, so we have a let's make a game library. So remind me, I need to remember this. So what we're going to do first is source. We're going to come here. Project members authenticate over HTTPS to allow committing changes. Okay, so I need to put this over here because I don't want other people to have my Google password. But first thing we're going to do is we're going to Tortoise Svn Checkout. And this is going to... Whoa, it already put that URL in? Is that right? HTTPS, no. No. This is the one we want. Bum. Let's make a game trunk. I'm going to hit OK, and it's going to ask for my password and my username. So my username, when it comes, we're going to... Wait, what? I didn't do that. Oh, okay, everyone can download it. Duh. Tortoise Svn. Bum 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 bum. So the problem I'm having is getting the initial setup. Hold on just a second. I actually can't see my chat. Nope, nothing. Okay. So Tortoise Svn. Okay, let's look this up here real quick. Google code. I feel dumb. I haven't done this in so long. Oh. Hold on. Tortoise Svn. Oh, I see. Cut. Paste. So we're going to rename this LMAG. Oops. Cut. Paste. I was confused. I was doing it right, but I was confused. Alright, so now we have the license. So we're going to commit this as first commit. Added license. Okay. Now it's going to ask for my password. There we go. So my username is from my email. We're going to bring this over here. Sorry, guys. And then, what is my Google code password? Oh, there it is. Save authentication. Boom. Alright, so we've committed that. So if we come over here to browse the source now, in trunk, we'll see license.txt. So we have set up our SVN. This will be publicly available. Anyone can use it now. So we're going to rename this to LMAG because it needs to be. And we're going to make a new, we're going to come now. Now we're going to copy our library stuff from here. GUI and scene are the important things. Bring them in here. Bring them into LMAG. And we're going to paste. Okay. So now we're going to come in here to scene. We're going to remove anything that's specifically a scene from our game. Last week, because we didn't actually separate those like they were supposed to be separated. So this is only supposed to import GUI. We have our scenes, we have that. Okay, we don't need these scenes whatsoever right now. So come on, hold on. Because these are scenes that we made for our game, and hold on. Thanks, that should not have been there. Sorry, guys. Alright, these scenes are specific to the breakout game. So, if we were to make a breakout game again, they would be in there. They would be in part of the game library content, not in our actually game engine content. We're separating the two. Alright, so there's the scene. Let me check the GUI really quick, because I think the GUI was good. Yes. GUI was fine. So we're going to commit this. Alright. So we got the base part of our engine imported and it's committed. And this is something you'll see happening a lot, is I'll be committing whenever we make major changes. That way everything works. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in here, we're going to beef up the GUI first. We're going to start working here because the events are the first thing that we really need to pay attention to, because that's how you get the input from the user to play the game, and that's the simplest thing to just do right the first time. So, okay, so I'm kind of looking at this if loop, and it's getting pretty big, right? And the bigger a chunk of code starts to look, generally the slower it's going to run in Python, or any language really. But we're going to come over here to the documentation, and we're going to come over to event. Now, I want there is something. There it is. Pygame event. Okay. I want to see what the events are here, because there should be a way for us to gather those keys. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in here. Text document. Oh, wait. No. Just grab that. I forgot to take the structure from breakout. Run game. Copy. Okay, import main to run game. Okay. Print hello world. And we're going to remove all of that. Okay, so when you run game, it should print hello world really quick. Yeah, it did. Okay, so what we're going to do is, instead of running game for right now, we're just going to test some things. So, from import Pygame, from Pygame.locals import start. Screen equals Pygame.display.set mode 640, 480. Clock equals Pygame.time.clock while 1. Clock.tick 30. Screen.fill Pygame.display.flip. Boom. Now we're going to grab events. For events, Pygame.events event.get print dir if event.type equals key down print event. I think it's event.key. We're going to print event.key. We're going to see what happens if we print event.key. Okay, so this is the ordinal of the key instead of the cardinal, I believe is the difference. Basically, it's the number. The keys, the ASCII keys, you have 1 through 256. Okay, so the only problem with this is I need to... Yes, I want to kill the program. So the thing is... So, can't remember how I did this. There's a way that you can get the key for an event. In key equals get key. Get key. Okay, so it should be char in key. If I come back, hold on. Hey, Meerkat. Event.type equals quit. Quit. Now, if we check this, ASD, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so we have the letters. Okay, so the problem we're having here is that it's not necessarily a key. So let's check here really quick. Control is tab, return, escape, scroll lock. Okay, so we're going to do right here. So we're going to change how this is working as much as we can. So this code here isn't going to change because this is handling left, right, up, down, etc. We can't really change how that works too much. Oops. If event.key equals k space self.key down. Well, you know what else we could do, actually? We can do a mapping. Key mappings equals this. We're going to create a dictionary for each of these key mappings. So k up equals up. And we're basically going to change how Pygame works to be more fitting to how we want it to work, more or less. Depending on what code we want at any given time to be working. Okay, we have k enter. No, it's actually k return, isn't it? It's return. K escape. K space equals space. And we're just going to keep going with this. Now, we need to do this with a ton of different things to make sure that this works. So we're just going to continue with this just to be on the safe side. We got k scroll lock. So we want to provide access. Oh, wait. Scroll lock. Really? Oh, wow. So this is going to be scroll lock. We're going to do 2 words to make it clearer, I think. K sysrec. Which one is sysrec? Hold on. Oh, that's the print screen. So I don't think that's handled anywhere else. So we're going to actually change that and say this is the print screen button. Hey, Official Ponty. How are you doing? Because most people don't use the sysrec key to be that. They use it for print screen. But okay, break. Is break. So this is why we're doing this in a library, because we don't want to have to redo this every time. Now, granted, most games aren't going to make use of all of this, but maybe there will be a game that does. Or maybe we will want people to be able to customize their control scheme in one of our games, so we want to be able to handle all the input they could put in. K backspace. Backspace. Let me know if this isn't clear for anyone. I'm hoping on the stream it is, but if it's not, please let me know. I made the screen as big as I can, but I am also working over here. Maybe I'll bump this up a bit so you can see what I'm doing. This just lists out all of the different keys and their Pygame codes right now. So K caps lock. I know Python TK enter. Should I consider learning Pygame? It depends. You can't really do many types of games with TK. Thank you, Ponte. I appreciate it. I'm glad. TK isn't necessarily for games. It's more for creating user interfaces. So you can make things like, you know, card games or text-based games, that kind of thing really easily. Pygame is really good if you want to make more of interactive game, generally. And this library eventually is going to have 3D. We're going to be making 3D games eventually once we, you know, graduate up to that over the next coming weeks and months. So it really just depends. I mean, if you're interested, look at it, see what we can make, and feel free. I mean, we're on episode 5 now. We started out with really simple games, and you know, Pong, Breakout, Snakes, etc., and we're graduating up. So now we're working on an actual game library so that we can start making more advanced games. Instead of explaining how to learn someone else's library, we're going to just build it up so people can understand where it's coming from. All right, caps lock, K clear. It's going to be clear key, and then K numlock, numlock. Now, Benny, I am assuming you're asking. This is in Python and Pygame, basically. Eventually, it will include libraries like PyOpenGL to give us 3D. It'll include PyOde to give us physics and things like that, so we don't have to redo all of that. But starting out, it's just Python and Pygame for now. So the thing that we need to check here, so we're going to come back to our little library that we were doing here, our little test here. We're going to test this, comma, period, slash, okay, so the key characters are all working properly, as you would expect. Okay, so that means those the caret symbol, you know, all these, the punctuation that they have over here, we can handle all those with Shift plus clicking on something. It's the same key, so we'll just catch 1, 2, 3, not exclamation at, pound, etc., etc. And we're just seeing, now we do need the F keys, so we're going to do that right here. So K F1 equals F1. These are going to be caps just because they always are. And we're just going to copy this down through F15. Apparently F15 is described, I don't know. Do you have past broadcasts so I can go back and see the other 4 streams before this one? Yes, I do. If you give me here, let me link that to you. There you go. This will also be up on YouTube. There is a forum for it for each video. There are downloads for each video to download the source code to everything we did, so you can play around with it, and there's code tasks in there for you to change things to help get you into it and coding. Alright, let's see where we're at. This should be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, we're really close. 14. Ooh, whoa! 15. 13, 14, 15. Yeah. 15. Okay, let's do this now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There we go. No problem, Ponto. No problem. Alright. So we have F15 now. Let's see what else we got. Okay, we need the keypad. We're going to run this. We're going to see if it picks up keypad. I'm guessing it won't. No, it doesn't. Okay, so we need those keys. So we're going to come down here. We're going to put a little space in between these to help delineate where we're at. Oh, the edit keys. First edit keys. Okay, help. Help. Okay, home. Home. Okay, end. End. Okay, insert. Insert. Dum 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 dum. Okay, print. Print. Wait, what? Huh. Okay, page up. Those videos are intended to help learn Pygame. Hopefully you can. Let me know if you can. Hopefully they can. That's the point. I would really appreciate it if I had some feedback from someone that said, hey, this really helped. So yeah, if it does, let me know. That's the point. Page up. Oh my. Page down. And then we've got K first, and K last. Whew. That section's done. So now we need the keypad. So KP0 equals keypad 0. Is that how we want to do it? I'm trying to think. Hold on, let me check something right here. No, it doesn't work. Yeah, we're gonna do it with keypad and then keypad dash. No, keypad underscore. We're gonna keep with how we were doing it. So keypad 0, and we'll be able to parse that to get the number if we want it. So we need 0 through 9. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9. Eight. Oh, whoops. I counted out 9, but you need 10 since you're starting at 0. What did I do? Oh my gosh, I started there. Ha ha, that's funny. Okay. So now we need KP divide. Oh, it's not a comma, it's a colon. I hate when I do that. I've been using too many other languages and not paying attention. Sometimes that makes you forget to do things properly. Alright, so we have divide. That's always divide, so we're going to do this. Key, pad, divide. Well, it's actually the slash, but so if I hit this button, it puts that. So we're going to do this keypad slash. We're gonna try that. We'll see. Maybe we'll change that. K keypad enter equals keypad enter. Okay, oops, keypad equals keypad equal. Wait. I don't see a KP equals on my keypad, but somebody must have one. Okay. So KP minus is going to be keypad dash K keypad multiply K keypad asterisk. And then we have K keypad period is keypad period. And finally, K KP plus equals keypad plus. Okay, so looking at this, we're going to change these to match the same thing they're doing, because that could be. Thanks for the follow, Ponty. Appreciate it. Multiply. Divide. Just because it's easier if I follow the same naming pattern. We can always change this. So I'm not expecting to use it anytime soon. Okay, so now we're using the controls, the shift, control, alt, etc., etc. First thing we're gonna have K left alt, K L alt, left alt, and K R alt equals right alt. And then what we're gonna do when we create our bindings is we're going to allow hooking of them together. So you can specify one of them, or you can do either of them. And we're going to do that L control with a second matching. Okay? So we're going to call this left control, and we're going to have K R control equals right control. K L super equals left super. K R super equals right super. Okay. Left super, K right super, shift now. Okay, so K L shift equals left shift. K R shift equals right shift. And then K No, that is left meta equals left meta, and K right, oops, right meta equals right meta. Okay, so we have those keys. We already have the K up, down, left, right. Menu mode, pause, power, underscore, hash. No. We don't need most of those because they're defined over here. Let's see, where's menu? I don't have menu. We'll add these because they have them only. Pause should be a part of the sysrec. Oh, that's print screen. Oh, pause and break over there. Duh, I feel dumb now. What's that? Do we already have break? We do have break already, but hey, they're defined. We'll have that for right now. Just in case someone has a weird computer layout that uses these. I don't actually, you know what, I'm not gonna do this. Those keys are ones that I don't see on my keyboard, so I cannot recommend anyone ever use them because most keyboards aren't going to utilize them the right way. So these are our key mappings. Now what we're going to have is our pseudo key mappings. This allows us to create key mappings. So we're going to use K L alt equals alt. K R alt equals alt. So what we're doing here is we're making both of them alt. So if you want just the left alt, you'll do left underscore alt. If you want either alt, you'll just put in alt and it will work. So we got that. So we're going to grab all of these right here. Put them in. And all we're going to do is remove these underscores. And then, once we have that, we can start adding in key combinations. Okay, so there's our meta keys. Now we want this for the Keypad as well. So we're going to actually have that as something separate. Keypad pseudo. Because what happens is with the keypad, you might want to keep them separate, because if we make the pseudo mappings, because we're not mapping QWE period 1, 2, 3, etc., those are going to come from the name of the key. So because of that, if we add our keypad keys into the pseudo key mappings up here, and we just say keypad 0 equals 0, then if you ask for 0, it's always going to ask for either your number keys, over here on the top of your bar, or keypad. So you can specify just keypad 1 through 9, but it's also always going to fire regular 0 through 9. So because of that, we can't do it that way. We need to do it slightly separately so we can keep control of when you want either of them. Actually, you know what we can do? Here's what we'll do. We'll just make the pseudo mappings for the keypad the same as the pseudo mappings from the other keys. So we're going to do this. We're going to do we're going to put in a P to call it pseudo. And we're also going to do that with regular 0 through 9. So we're going to do that right here. K0, P0, comma, and we're going to do this through 9. So Monty, so you're making game engine library you can import every time, so you don't have to redefine every time you make a new game, right? Yes, that is exactly what we're doing. Basically, we progressed through several simplistic games, and I felt that it was time to begin graduating into more complex games. As you go into more complex games, you either need to spend a lot of time up front doing all of this, or you need to create a library. Now, I would rather continue focusing on making games, so I'm going to do an entire segment, or actually it's going to be several segments on the game engine. And then if we decide when we finish a game and the next game, if it has features that we want in our engine, we'll do an episode of upgrading the engine to our current capacity or capabilities. So for instance, right now we're sticking to regular Python and Pygame for 2D games. And that's all our engine is going to be right now. But down the road, we'll decide that we want to do a 3D game, so we'll import PyOpenGL and we will begin adding those components into our engine, so we can have 3D games. Alright, so P divide P, enter, P equals P minus P multiply. Actually, I'm not really sure, but we need to do this. So divide is K question mark. So we need to find the punctuation keys over here. Here they are. So we're gonna have K. Well, let's look for question. Yes. No, it should be K slash. Yeah, K slash. Exactly. It saves time and it makes everything more modularized, which is always easier for working with down the road. This is trying to help, we're progressing from just making a game into making a game correctly. That way you can add on to it later. P. Well, no, we're going to do, the P is going to be slash. We're going to define this based on the regular. So K enter is going to be K return is going to be P return. P enter. Yeah, P enter. And then we're going to have equals. K should be plus P equals. And then let me see, we got minus, okay, that should be dash. Or no, it's minus, okay. P E minus. We have K multiply, it would be K8. That'd be a shift though. Oh, here we go. Ah, that's what we'll do. Haha! Smartness. We'll do this. Okay, so what we're doing here, we're changing this slightly, is the pseudo key mappings will apply after the key mappings. Now, the key mappings include our key mappings that we're defining here, and it's also going to include the key when we click on it. So left alt, right alt. This will allow us to make sure it's upper. So it's going to take a bit of time to change how this is working, to make it work better, but right control, left super, right super, left shift, and right shift. And the thing that you have to realize when you're creating a library or an engine is you have to think of how your users are going to use this, or how you yourself are, depending on, if you're making for someone else or just for yourself. So because of that, sometimes you will notice that you will do things that you don't think necessary for whatever game. So, for instance, me right now, I have never in my life, well, okay, wait, I take that back. Long time ago, I have not in many years used the keypad whatsoever in a game. Because generally, when you use them in a game, you need to have your hand over by the keypad. So if you're doing a mouse-driven game, generally it just makes more sense to be over by the WASD instead of over on the keypad. But someone may want to do that with this engine, so we're going to try and support that as best we can. So now we're not actually looking at the key, we're looking at what it has been mapped to check for any pseudo mappings. And pseudo mapping simply means a second definition of something that combines one or more keys into the same key, more or less. So every pseudo mapping is going to be P underscore in the name. So we know it's a pseudo, meaning we're checking both. So now, when we check we have keypad divide enter equals blah, 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 blah. Okay. Keypad divide, keypad enter. Ooh, I pressed the wrong button. Should be correct. Keypad enter equals minus multiply period plus. Okay. Keypad equals keypad minus keypad multiply keypad period. And then keypad plus. Keypad plus. I believe. Yes, okay. So now we can do enter. I believe we defined return to be enter in our thing. Yeah, we changed that slightly. We have K plus. We have I believe we define that as dash. Oh, no. I'm not doing this right. It's just plus, or equals is the normal. Oh, am I in caps lock? No. Well, equals is the first one. You shift for plus. Duh. Okay, so minus for the keypad. And then we've got P multiply. It should be 8. Is P. Let me think for a second. So we have to be able to control shifts here. So we're going to do this right here. We're going to do shift, comma, 8. We're going to define it thusly. Shift 8 equals P mul... Oh no, it's P asterisk. Why did I do that? Period should be its own, yep. P period. Comma. And then, wait, slash enter equals minus asterisk. Period plus. Okay, so that's going to be another shift. Shift, comma, equals is P plus. So now that we have our pseudo mappings more or less done, we're going to just do okay. Pygame Keypad has additional attributes, Unicode and scan code. Unicode represents a single character string that is the fully translated character entered. This takes into account the shift and composition keys. Oh, sweet. So we can do that. Let's check this right here. Wait, let's change how this runs to grab Unicode. Sweet. So we can check the Unicode now without having to use a character match. So now we can actually do plus. We can just do star. Boom! Perfect. Makes it much quicker. So what we want to check right here, if event.unicode. So we're going to type A, and we're going to go Shift S, Shift blah, blah. We're going to go F1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to go Shift A. So it's skipping those. Perfect. So we have event Unicode. So now we have all of this meta included. And actually, hold on. Now that we're doing that, we should have these already translated for us over into those keys. That's actually a problem. That's not what we want. So we want to make sure that we're first checking this. Okay, so what we're going to do now is in our event, we're going to put this down. We're going to change this. If event.key in key mappings. So we're checking if it's in our key mappings. Key equals key mappings event.key. Pretty simple. Oops. Else key equals elif event.key in elif event.unicode key equals event.unicode. Else print unknown key. Okay. So our pseudo key then, if key in should be pseudo key mappings. Pseudo key mappings. P key equals pseudo key mappings key. Else p key equals none. Pretty simple. So now what we can do is we can say self.key down remove that and remove bindings for now. Pretty simple. Mouse X. We're gonna change how we're doing the mouse keys, but for now, self.key down self.key down key equals true. If p key self.key down p key equals true. And self.call binding key and self.call binding p key. Okay, so that key down, we just simplified that immensely, much cleaner. We're using a bit more memory, so we have faster running time. Just everything you want with Python for the most part. So now we're going to add find get key self.key. If key in self.key down, return self.key down key. Else we're returning false. So we're assuming, hey, Ibrahim Amanduran. Hello. Alright, so we're getting key now. So what's happening is it's going to check to see if any events have set that key to true. This is going to be 2D for now. Right now we're working on the engine for it. Eventually this engine is going to graduate and be 3D, and it's going to have physics and all that kind of stuff, but we're not there yet. We're starting, you know, baby steps, more or less. First thing is, if event in self.bindings, there we go. If not event in self.bindings, self.bindings event equals this. And now we're adding that event onto that list. Pretty simple. What we're doing is we're making sure we don't have to define all of the keys that can be pressed here or here first, because then it would just be another massive list. We don't want to do that. We're going to take it slow, and we're going to let them be defined as we go. Okay. So we have the keys, P key down. Yes. Okay, so what we're going to do here now is we're going to pretty much copy this down. I'm going to comment this out for right now. We're going to grab event key and key mappings. Event key and pseudo. Okay, so we have the key P. So it's false and false. But we're not calling the bindings again because we're releasing more or less. That's all we're doing. And the cool thing about how we're doing this is, let me give you an example in, let me just open up Paint for a second to show you why I just did it the way I did. So in a lot of games, you'll have, you know, your keys. Let's say this is, you know, top keys, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you got, you know, your Q, your W, your E, your R, and you have A, S, D, etc. Okay, so in many games you'll this should be a Q back here, or whatever. Now it looks like a weird person. You're gonna have, say, you're going to have Q, W, E, A, S, D, and you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., etc. And then you're going to have Alt Q, and you're going to have Shift Q and Control Q. Well, we can handle the Shift ones automatically by just checking for lowercase or uppercase. We can do exclamation point for uppercase 1. We can do capital W for uppercase W, etc., etc. Now, we're still going to need to check for controls, but we're getting there. So the first thing that we want to do is realize well, I'm trying to think here. It actually might be better to only do the lower, just the regular character for the key, and then map out. I'm trying to think what the easiest way is that'll be clear for the users, because we're going to have Shift plus A, right? We're going to allow that kind of interaction. So because of that, not really sure. I'm trying to think here. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Is it best that you reference specific keys? Like Q is always Q. W is always W. 2 is always 2. And then it changes based on whether you're pressing Shift or Control or Alt or whatever, what have you. Or, is it better Well, okay, for text input, it's better to get the key, right? The actual string. But for a game, it's better if everything stays the same. And this is primarily for a game, but we are going to have GUI elements. So, let's do this. Self dot string. That's what we're going to do. What we're going to do is we're going to come here. We're going to have to wrap this in a try. Unfortunately, it's going to slow things down just a little bit. Key equals care event dot key. I believe it was event dot key, right? Hold on. Somebody else is doing this. Yeah, it's event dot key. Actually, they are used very heavily, depending on what games you are playing. If you're playing any kind of real-time strategy, or MMO, or RPG, or something, it's very frequent, actually. MOBAs, for instance, you have Alt-click a lot, or Shift-click for fast-click. It just really depends. And the goal of this, again, is it's a library, right? We had to think about how other people are going to use it, not just ourselves. Because we can, I can utilize it and make a game using whichever method we would use. I'm trying to figure out what makes most logical sense for everyone else. If that helps. So we're going to do it this way. And what we're going to have up here is in the pseudo, we're going to go back and do this. Shift, comma. Oh no, we don't need that. I don't think we need that. Yeah, we don't need that. We don't need the keypads for pseudo. That's mainly for these. Because what we'll do is we'll have the Unicode as well added into our string. So what we're going to do is we're also going to have the characters. And so what we have here is, as we're setting these right here, right? So self.chars key equals event.unicode. That's always set. If there's no key, then there's no, we don't have to worry about it. Same with right here. .chars p key. Well, there won't be any characters from the p keys, from the pseudo keys. So the characters are set. Let me think real quick. Wait, is that what we want to do? Because one thing a lot of text inputs do is if you hold down F, you know, if this were running as fast as it could, that would have been 1,000 Fs instantly. And we don't want that to happen, right? We want them to be able to delay it slightly as they're checking. But we want to know if they're holding it down, right? Versus shift. Oh, what a pain. What a pain, what a pain, what a pain. Because here's what's going to happen, right? So this is what I'm trying to figure out is, let's say you are holding shift and then you start holding A. So you're doing a line of capital A's, right? Or you're putting input of shift A. Well, A is being held down. Now, if you keep holding A but you release the shift key, you want it to shift into little lowercase a's. So I had to figure out how to make that work with the structure we have here. The other option we can do is we can key map we could make another key mapping of letters to their uppercase. You know, 4 becomes the $sign, 5 becomes %, little r becomes big R, etc., etc. Did I just... Yeah, I did just do that. So if we create that, then we would have you know what we'll do? We'll have a function, right? Find get character. No, get characters? Get characters. And what we're going to have then for get characters trying to think, do we want to go to all this work or do we want to find an easier way? That's the question. If anyone has any ideas, feel free and shout out. This is why we're making this into a library, is so we can think about this once, hopefully, and then we don't have to worry about it next time. So we want a list of characters, or a string of characters. So every time it updates, we want to make sure why is that down here? Oh, it's because this is still open. So right here, we do self.chars equals this. So every time it updates, it's going to change out what characters we have currently down. Oh yeah, self.events that append. I forgot about that. Self.events that append key. And self.events.append p key. We have several different ways we can get the events, right? So what we could do is we could say, if you want to know what keys are there, you have to, well, no, we can't do that. We can't do that. What if no, can't do that either because the shift releasing type thing would be funky. Yep, so we're going to have to create the mappings here of shift. Char upper mappings. Okay. Okay, and we also need char KP mappings. Okay, so what we have is our different keypad characters that need to be converted into characters. 0, 1. This is, I think, the best way to do it. It's slightly clunky, but we shouldn't have to deal with this again. And actually, I think we're going to be popping this event out and then having the GUI as a separate thing, because this is so massive already. We don't want the GUI being caught up in this. We don't need that one. So it won't actually do. Well, actually, that should be in the pseudo key mappings, right? Yeah, hold on. Keypad, enter, key enter. There we go. Delete. We have del, right? Yeah. Delete and keypad. Wait, where's the keypad delete? Did I miss that one? Divide, enter. Is del equals? Oh, period. Period. Duh. Oh, guys. Okay. So equals. I don't know where the equals sign is on my keypad. I don't have one. I have numlock. There's only one numlock though. Okay, so there's the keypad mappings to get the keys from the keypad. And now our char upper mappings, we're just going to have to go down the list. And this is going to take, actually we're going to start up here then. And then this becomes okay. So there's one row. And actually caps lock doesn't affect these, no. So in our code, caps lock will affect those right now. So let's make these K shift mappings. So shift mappings are going to be these things that aren't affected by caps only, starting out. Okay. So then we're going to have U becomes U. Have U. Oops. U becomes U. Whoop. U becomes U. Oh wait, it's double slashes. We have U becomes U. We have becomes U. The inverting. And we have U becomes U, and this is confusing my hands, guys. Okay. These are all of the purely shift mappings. These ones are the ones that change if you push shift for the characters. Now the character caps mappings equals the char shift mappings. Oh wait. Oh wait. It's not. These are plus the char caps mappings. There we go. So, what this will do is we can define things that are affected just by caps, and then the things that are affected by caps are also affected by shift. It's a mess. I still don't think this is going to work quite properly, but we'll see. Well, we may have to play with it a bit. So Q becomes Q, etc., etc. So let's just go down here. Okay, this should be W, E, whoops, E, R, T. And then W, E, R, T, Y, U. Actually, yeah, this is kind of hilarious to watch, isn't it? This is in Python. Oh wait, caps mappings is pretty simple. I know, right? I'm sitting here. I'm like, there's a cleaner way of doing it, but I don't know if there's a simpler to explain way of doing it. So, if you have any ideas that would be easy for new programmers to follow, please feel free and recommend them. Because for me, I would probably maintain other lists of things and basically just check on the down status of different keys and get the key mapping for it. But, oh wait, that actually might be simpler to explain. Oh, here we go. Let's do that. Let's do that. Your comment, I don't know what it did, but it jogged my brain into thinking a little more clearly, I think. Because right here, what I can do is for key in Pygame key, I think it's key to get pressed. Pygame key, oh, I have that, okay. Key to get pressed. Let me see this. I could do dot upper, But I need to figure out the care mappings initially. Oh! Yeah, maybe. Let me think here quick. Problem is dot upper doesn't work for instance 1 to exclamation point and 3 for the number the pound sign and things like that. But I believe if I use Pygame key to get pressed. Oh, that's not working quite right. E to get name. Get the descriptive name of the button. Well, yeah, I know, but the dot upper command itself, like if I open up Python right here, unless I'm dreaming, if we make a string of a equals a string of 1, and we call a dot upper, a dot upper is still 1. So I need to maintain somehow 1 mapping into the exclamation point. You see what I mean? But which is where this came in, the shift mappings. Yeah, for letters it would work, but we're not dealing with just letters is the problem, unfortunately. But what we could do, potentially... So the problem we have... Trying to think this through. I must look really dumb. Everyone's like, what are you doing, man? So hung up on this. But this is part of why I like... Yes, my bot is in Python, yes. The reason I'm hung up on it is because we need to set this up so it works now, so we don't have to mess with it later. And all of those commands are a bit outdated on the bot. I need to play with them. I haven't updated them in a long time, but yeah. Okay, so You could shift the characters based on the ASCII table. Uppercase and lowercase are related by a shift of 32. Let's try that. And I bring up a trusty thing here. We're going to test this. So, board A plus 32, and that has to be now a char again. Char. That didn't work quite right. Ordinate A became Q, so I can't be right. Did I do that wrong? Oh no, 1 became Q. 1 became Q. That can't be right. Trying to think here. But yeah, you're right. That will be the easiest way for sure. Wait, hold on. I have an idea. Come here. That didn't work. Wait, Pygame.get? No, it's supposed to. I hate when I do that. Int has no attributes. Oh, it's not an event. I am working to snake. Key.name. Let's do this. I am the key.name. Key. It's not. This isn't working quite right. The other option we could do is make it so that the keys repeat. So in Pygame, there's two things you can do. You can check the pressed and unpressed state of a key. The other thing you can do is have it so that when you hold down A, after a certain interval, it will refire the A event. Right? So instead of tracking what state everything is in, you just keep refiring it. I don't like that state because it's less flexible. That was using Unicode? No, this was using completely ASCII, this experiment here. I mean, I could try it in Unicode too if you wanted. But that's probably not going to do anything. No, still do the same thing. Hold on. Python uppercase 1. Or numbers. Python shift. I will do a segment on my bot coming up here, Ponty. It's actually going to be on my website for you guys to download as well eventually, but it's not quite ready yet. Oh, okay, here we go. Character. That's why. Here we go. Character 32 plus ord a plus 32. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. That's applying to our keys basically. Where Q, capital Q plus 32 equals lowercase q. But, hold on. No, I just want regular ASCII codes. What the heck? I just want ASCII. That's not what I want. Okay. So, exclamation. Okay. Okay, so uppercase A starts at 65. But 0 is 48. And its uppercase is only 41. 1's uppercase is 33. So it won't work doing that for the number bar, unfortunately. That was a good idea, though. It was a good idea, but it doesn't map in a direct thing. I have to manually do that, basically. Which I can. I'm trying to think what the best... What if I get this back? Just for the shift mappings. Whoop. Right? Key down. What is this? Self.chars plus equals self.convert character I. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a little convert, define convert character, self comma character. But anyway, to answer your question, I made my bot using, it's in Python, but it uses Twisted. Twisted is a really good networking library in Python. So, I can show you that later if you'd like, after this part of the stream is done. And we're actually getting close to wrapping. It's been almost 2 hours already. And we haven't made a lot of noticeable progress, but we've set up the groundwork to make more progress. Unfortunately. But... So first we're going to do is we're going to see if the character is a if len character equals 1. Try should be, yeah, if the character equals 1, return character, whoops, ordinal of the character plus 32. Oh wait, minus 32. They go backwards. else elif char in char shift mappings return char shift mappings. Oh, that's what we'll do. Okay, first we need to figure out if it's shifted, caps, or what. Caps equals. We should have pygame.key to get mods, I believe it is. Get mods. Should be. I want caps. The problem I'm having here is I need to get the state of whether. There's your repeat right there if we wanted it, but plugin test if caps lock is on. Well, okay, so what we're gonna do is for now we're gonna test base our own to-do test initial state caps lock. Caps on equals false. Or actually, we'll do that right here. To find initial state of caps lock. There we go. Equals self dot caps on. Shift equals self dot equals P shift, because we don't care about any shift. We care about any shift. P shift in self dot key down and self dot key down P shift. Boom. So we're testing to see if the P shift is in the key down list and it's set to true. So what we're going to do here is if we have caps lock, if event.key equals should be k caps lock, k caps lock, self.caps equals not self.caps. We're inverting it basically whenever we click it. Okay, so if char in char shift mappings, we don't need all of this shit now, which is nice because that was going to be a really ugly way of handling it. If shift and return char shift mappings char. So we're going to return the uppercase if we're pressing shift. Actually, we're going to do this. Else return the character. So if we don't care if it's caps lock, but elif length of char equals 1, There's only one character. Like if we're sending a if for some reason we decide to test the left alt, the right alt, and all that shit accidentally, we're gonna skip it. Oh, here we go. One char. So that equals 1 return. Boom. So otherwise now what we have is if caps and shift equals false. elif caps shift equals true. Basically, we're only testing against shift, and we're modifying shift based on the caps lock. So if caps lock and shift is going from uppercase to lowercase, if caps lock is on and not shift, then shift is turned on. So if shift return char.upper, else we're going to return the character back. Pretty simple. So we're going to see now, we're going to make sure that this works next time. Because right now, we're running out of time. And we haven't done a lot of testing, but we're getting there. So we're going to wrap the stream here. We're going to commit our code. Commit. So today we only got into the event structure. And the events now are very nearly done. They should work for just about anything that we would want to do. They're not entirely done yet. There are a couple things that we'll need to clean up and finish when we come back next week. Or I may work on it throughout the week. That way I get this part of it done. And I'll just show you guys kind of what I did. I'm not really sure yet. But next week we'll be moving on to actually flushing out a bit of the GUI. And the GUI will allow us to have, clickable buttons and text boxes, labels, and everything like that in a 2D setting. That way we have all of that stuff ready for when we use our game. That way we can just plug it all in. After that, we'll be looking to flush out that scene structure a little bit that we had from Breakout, which is how we're controlling where we're at in the game world. And then finally, we're going to have we're going to handle the direct Pygame rendering interface, so we don't have to work with that directly. We can just offload that into a setup library, basically, and that will handle all of that, so we don't have to worry about it again. And once that is all done, the components should be in place to begin making a far more sophisticated game than what we've been doing so far. We could do a MUD, a graphical MUD, or we could do a turn-based strategy game. If you've heard of Battle for Wesnoth or Final Fantasy Tactics or something like that, we could do a real-time strategy game, potentially. We can do a whole bunch of different things that require a more advanced input and output and rendering than what we were able to do if you didn't have all of this already done. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to stop the video right now. This video is going to be going up on YouTube. As always, there will be a link in the description below that will have that will show you where you can download all of the files. It will link to the Google subversion, so you can download this as I'm working on it. Or if you would like to help out creating this library and adding things, a lot of you had really good ideas on how to clean up that event structure in a much cleaner way than I did. If you can make that work, just PM me or message me on the forums. There will be a forum thread specifically for this. There will be one for the library as well. Just post there that you'd like to help out. And I will give you access to the subversion for you to push new code to make modifications. That way, you know, we can combine the best of both worlds, because it's been quite a while actually since I've done this sort of programming in Pygame. Unfortunately, as you can see, I'm struggling with some of it myself, so we're learning as we go. So again, the link will be down in the description below to download all of these files and play with them, and just let me know if you do anything cool or if you'd like to help out, and I will see you guys next week, same time, 1 p.m. Eastern. Have fun coding.